Hi everybody, Devin here with ground force metal detecting. I want to make a video to address EMI and questions and comments that I've seen around metal detecting and what to do about EMI. I'm getting so much EMI that I've lowered my sensitivity to 50% just to try to get it, reasonable. And now my performance is suffering on my metal detector, and I can't pick up anything. Yeah, well, that's because you don't want to go right for sensitivity. There are other things you want to do, to deal with this in an optimal way. Let's talk about first what's EMI and how do I know if that's what the problem is. So EMI is there are electromagnetic fields in the air that are coming from power lines, transformers, electric fences, radio stations, whatever is generating an electric field, a large electric field out there, and it's sometimes not obvious. Sometimes it is. You're under the power lines. Sometimes there's nothing around. It may be coming from a mile away, and you just happen to be in a bad area. Anyway, you'll know it's EMI just by the constant sort of chatter, like you'll hear like a chatter, especially if you set your metal detector down on the ground to dig or whatever, and the metal detector's sitting there still, just going just making a bunch of noise. That's EMI. It's not ground noise. It's not your discrimination setting. It is EMI. The very first thing that you want to do is a frequency scan. Okay. Some metal detectors call it a noise cancel. XP calls it a frequency scan. Do your frequency scan. So what a frequency scan does is every frequency on the machine, let's just say 24 kilohertz, that's actually a small range of frequencies from, I'm going to just generalize here, from maybe it's 23.5 kilohertz to 24.5 kilohertz. And there are all these nuances in there, by the tenth of a kilohertz, where the machine will scan up and down on all the frequencies it's using and select all the best frequencies that are quietest. Okay, so that's what a frequency scan does. It doesn't change your setting. It's just that setting is a 40 kilohertz is a generalization for 39.5 to 40.5, and I might not have the decimals exactly right there, but you get the idea. Okay, so frequency scan is going to help maybe a third of the time. Okay, it's not always going to work. I find it doesn't work a lot of times, but the thing about it is it has zero consequences to performance or depth or anything like that. It's really something you should try first. It's quick. If that doesn't work, okay, that doesn't work. If you're not super dedicated to the program you're on, say you're on general program, if you're not super dedicated to using the general program, scroll up and down a little bit and see if a different program on the machine is a little quieter. I kind of, I find that, one of my programs has a bunch of noise right now in this spot, and this other program is fine. So that's one of the easiest things to do, and now you haven't suffered any depth problems or any performance issues. Let's just say you don't want to change programs, or and by the way, if you change programs, go back to step one and do another frequency scan, because you just reverted to the default frequency scan frequency. You can, let's see, so you don't want to try another program. The next thing you can try is reactivity speed. Some detectors call that recovery speed. So a higher reactivity speed, a faster reactivity speed, is less susceptible to EMI than the slow, low number. Okay, so if maybe your default reactivity on your program is 2, try 2.5. I mean, don't go crazy on any of these settings. Okay, your reactivity going higher, you're gonna suffer a little bit of depth. By 0.5, not much. Okay, maybe a hair of depth if you go up 0.5, but that might take care of your EMI. Say that doesn't do it. The next thing you want to do is, two concepts here, okay? Multi-frequency and high frequency are more susceptible to EMI than single frequency programs or lower frequencies. EMI comes in at higher frequencies almost always. Okay. So the next step here is, if you're in multi-frequency, go into max frequency and take it down. Take it down one step at a time and give it a try. See if it helps. If you go down to max frequency the old way down and you still are still having a problem, you almost have to switch programs now. So switch, but the mono program would be the one that's the most stable. Okay, a mono frequency program is going to be less susceptible to EMI. So go to a mono, go to Deus mono, Deus II mono. Don't select 40. Select 27 or 24 or whatever. Select a middle of the road frequency. If you have to go lower, you can go lower. So the same with mono. The lower you go in frequency, the less susceptible it'll be. Also, less performance on small targets. So, higher frequencies are for tinier mid conductors like gold. Gold bracelets, gold earrings, little tiny pieces, and it's not as deep. So you're really talking about surface to shallow earrings, bracelets, necklaces, small chunks of gold, small pieces of gold, not mid conductors and low conductors. So that's what high frequency is best for, but it also picks up the most EMI. So lower to a middle of the road frequency. Now, you've done all these things, and you're still having a problem. Okay, now go to sensitivity. All right, your sensitivity by default is probably high, and you want to try to keep your sensitivity not maxed out, because then you're going to get a lot of falsing and high tones on iron and everything other bullcrap. But let's just say on the Deus II, your sensitivity was default at 95. Take it down to 90. I don't know. Don't go crazy, but take it down to 90, maybe 85. Or somewhere. Just take it down a little bit at a time. And you may not be able to get rid of it all. You may have to deal with a little bit. And as you start swinging, if you're moving the metal detector over the ground and it's working itself, you'll find that it's a little quieter than when you sit it down on the ground. It'll once it's working, it sort of stops picking up all that stuff, because it's picking up iron and targets in the ground instead. I realize I forgot to mention audio response. Make sure your audio response is not set too high. Okay. High audio response will enhance EMI as well as faint signals. So if your audio response is high, take it down a couple notches, okay? Sometimes that'll help. The only other thing, that helps with EMI is a smaller coil. If you have that option, or you want to use that option, larger coils are more susceptible than a smaller coil, okay? Just know that concept. The only other thing there is to do is just decide that you're in an area of EMI that can't be overcome, and you're going to just try another day or try somewhere else. That's about it. So anyway, I hope this was helpful, and I hope you like my video. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing a bunch of these videos like this, just sort of little learning lessons. So yeah, especially if you're a new detector, subscribe and check out my other videos. They'll be coming out in the next couple weeks. All right, thanks again. Thanks for watching, and swing away.